Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2020 ULI Europe Conference, the first pan-European gathering for real estate leaders in the new decade. And welcome to Amsterdam. First time we organized the conference here in my home city. And I'm very pleased that more than 750 people are joining us here. Not all in the room yet, but I think they will come in soon. And all to see best practices and local urban developments here in Amsterdam. Many of you over the past few days already had the opportunity to get a flavor of what's going on locally. I would say apart from the weather yesterday. But yeah, that's, if you come here in February, that's just a big risk. But many of you went to see the waterfront regeneration in the north, mixed-use development and placemaking around the Zuidas, and many of you heard about circularity, which is a big topic here in the Netherlands. We are experiencing interesting times, geopolitical issues, slowing economic growth, low interest rates, and now also the coronavirus. Amidst all of this, real estate continues to be one of the most favored asset classes, with strong capital flows continuing to push up prices. Investors and managers are trying to deploy the capital, mindful of the late cycle circumstances we face. However, one can wonder whether at this moment in time we have enough attention for all the massive structural changes we're facing. It's around growing inequality, climate change, increasing global population, and especially migration that will follow. And none of these issues can be solved by any of us alone. And at the same time, we live in a world that's increasingly characterized by nationalist and anti-global forces. And while the need for collaboration and knowledge sharing has never been greater before, if we want to solve those global challenges. And that is exactly what ULI is about, collaboration and knowledge sharing without borders. Take climate change. It's at the center point of attention. Many of you this morning woke up hearing about it. As an industry, we urgently face the need to reduce our carbon footprint. And as ULI, we have just published a report, Embodied Carbon Report, that was published at the end of last year, which makes the business case for reducing carbon emissions in embodied carbon in building materials. And this is a good example of the work we do, providing practical examples and best practices that can help you tackle these challenges. Another area where we've taken the lead is around increasing inequality and affordable housing. We all know that many more people struggle to find affordable homes in the cities where we live. And that has a profound impact on city competitiveness, quality of life, social cohesion. And a lot of the work that has been done already has been mostly focusing on the issues and the consequences, and still the lack of affordable housing. Only very limited work has been focused on all the things that are already happening to deliver more affordable housing. And that's exactly what we've done. We launched an affordable housing report yesterday, focused on the squeezed middle, the part that's not entitled to social housing and can't afford market levels either. And we've looked at all across Europe and even beyond, and provide a large number of best practice examples and innovations trying to speed up the process and delivering more affordable housing all across the real estate value chain, from planning, construction, financing to management. I would encourage all of you to read it. And this work also links closely into social value. where we're launching a project currently that will examine existing best practices of managers and investors and how they measure their social impact. And we aim to develop that into a common framework that all of us can use as a starting point. So please join us for that as a partner, or look out for the report that will be published later in the year. And then what about technology and changing consumer preferences? And especially how this impacts the real estate industry and retail even more. Also yesterday, we've published a report that's called Reshaping Retail. And that's looking into the potential triggers that can help unlock the retail investment market across Europe. And again, is already providing practical examples that are being applied now to make retail fit for the future again. Our global database of research continues to expand, and we're very proud that now it's much easier to search through. As we launched a knowledge finding platform only a few months ago, and with that knowledge finding platform, you can easily search between, but also within reports, videos, case studies, and even presentations, making it so much easier for you to access that global database of research that ULI has built up over more than 80 years. And while our research is significant for what we do as an organization, of course our members, you, are at the core. And we can't do what we would like to do and achieve all of this without your support. And that's why I'm so happy that our membership continues to grow. And here in Europe, we've just passed the 4,000 member mark, a doubling within just 5 years' time. And we work hard to make your membership even more valuable. We have some great programs that we offer, Urban Plan being one of them. As part of that, members volunteer to visit schools and teach young people, high school children, on the fundamentals of urban development. Having been running successfully in the UK, Germany, and Ireland over the past couple of years, we are exactly now ready to start here in the Netherlands. So if you're interested to contribute, not only here, also in the other countries, please go and speak to my colleagues in the foyer. So I would encourage you, all of you, to get involved. Because the more you put in, the more you get out of ULI. And on this occasion, I would really like to thank Jürgen Fenk, our ULI Europe chair, as well as the members of our executive committee in Europe, for their continued leadership and support during this period of rapid growth. And looking ahead to today, I would like to thank the conference organizing committee, chaired by Patrick Kanters, Guido Verhoef, and John Zehner, who have given up a lot of their time to help us organize this event. And of course, I would also like to thank our generous sponsors. You can see the names here behind me on the screen. But I would like to specifically mention our principal sponsor, Heinz, and our icon sponsors, Patricia, Immobel, and Greenberg Traurig. Without their support, we could have not delivered this conference successfully. And before I hand over to the conference moderator, Andrea Carpenter, I would like to thank the staff team for putting this event together, because they've worked really hard. And finally, I would like to thank you for being here with us today, because without you, our organization wouldn't exist. And I'm very proud that together we make the real estate industry better and help create communities that are resilient to the challenges of tomorrow. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to be joining you here today. My name is Andrea Carpenter. I'm Director of Women Talk Real Estate, and I'll be your moderator for the day. I'm particularly delighted to be here as it's my first trip to the EU this year. Thank you. On behalf of us Brits, thank you so much for welcoming us despite our local difficulties. As Lizette said, we have a lot of structural change in the industry at the moment, and I'm delighted that the programme really covers some of those major trends that we need to be looking at, such as impacting investing and climate change, so we'll get stuck into those during the day. But my first role is to really kind of get you involved. Hopefully many of you will have already downloaded the app. If not, please let's see if we can get you started on that. So you may have already been to a ULI event recently, have that app on your phone. If so, just open it up and put in your registration details. There's two other ways to do it. You can go to your app store and download it from there, or if you look on your lanyard, there is a QR code on the back, and if you point your phone camera at that, that will magically take you to the right place. There's also the Wi-Fi code on there, which is the other form of oxygen you will be needing today, so that's there for you as well. So what that app enables you to do is to get involved, and one of the ways we do that is to ask you to do some interactive voting. So I'll just give you a couple of seconds to get going on that, and then we'll do a few test questions just to make sure you're up to speed. So throughout the day, we also would like you to connect with us on social media. We are on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram and Twitter. Please use our ULI Europe handles, and you can see we also have a hashtag up there on the top of the screen, hashtag ULI Europe 2020. Okay, so hopefully most of you now have your voting app, so I'm just going to talk to you quickly about how to do that. So if you're on the front page of the app, you will have seen, I hope I can go back, no, you will see it says voting. If you click on that, then you need to click on the session that we're in to take part in the voting. So we're on the 8:45 a.m. We're like a UK train. We're running slightly late on that one, but that's the program we're doing today. So if you want to click on that, we're going to get started with a few easy questions to get you started. Okay, so we'll have our first polling question if we can. We're going to have 10 seconds to answer, which I hope is adequate for you. This is my first how many times have you attended the ULI annual conference? Please go number one. This is my first ULI Europe annual conference. 2 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 plus. Please start voting. I think we're on our 20th, so you could have been here definitely 10 plus. I've done 10 plus. Amazing. This always is great to see so many different new people in the room. Please take time to meet a few new people as well. So we've got 42% of you, your first annual conference. And then about a quarter of you, pretty cool for us, 2 to 5%, and congratulations to the 12%. Thank you so much for joining us so many times. So let's have the next polling question, please. Okay, we'll have polling question number 2, which I think is about where are you joining us from today? Continental Europe, UK, Americas, Asia Pacific, or other? 10 seconds to answer that. Okay, not surprising. Almost 60%, just over 55% of you from Continental Europe. I'm not alone here today, all good to know. A third of us from the UK, and a few more from overseas. So hopefully you'll meet and greet those global ideas from around the world as well. And finally, our third question as part of this session. What is your job? Oh no, we've got 2 more questions, sorry. So who are you? What type of professionals do we have in the room today? Please, we'll start the 10 seconds for that now. Okay. I'm not sure those figures add up. They're not percentages, clearly. Okay, so we've got a good spread of investment and finance professionals and a good set of others. Okay, Well, we're going to move on to the first session now, where we're going to be setting the scene for the global political and economic landscape. This session is very kindly sponsored by ECE. As you can see, you'll also be able to ask questions through the app. So if you go back to that front page, we would like you to be involved. So if you want to ask questions during the session, they will come up on an iPad. And at the end of our 2 speakers, we'll have a good Q&A session. I'll be able to take in some of your speakers. We'll hear from both before we have a discussion. But I've got just 3 more questions for you to answer before we can get going. So can we have the first of the next set of polling questions, please? What do you see as the main threat to the European real estate market at present? So we've got a wide range of things there. Okay, this is give our speakers some thoughts about what they'll be covering. We'll certainly be covering that general political uncertainty. Okay, a very small amount of you think that interest rates are going to be increasing. Okay, the next polling question, please. We've just got 2 more. How do you feel about the outlook for the European real estate market in 2020? Neutral. Okay, that feels about right. Very negative. Okay, not so many of you. And then finally, one more question before we get started with our first speaker. How close are we to the top of a European real estate investment cycle? Near the top. Okay, well, interestingly, we asked this question last year, and near the top last year was 41%. So there has been a shift of 4 of you thinking. At the top last year was 29%, and already past the top last year was 22%. So a few of you getting a little bit more optimistic there. Okay, well, thank you for that. We'll have some more questions throughout the day, but as you say, please also use the app to ask your questions throughout the session as well.